When the Bible arrived in Africa, God did not arrive with it. Africa already worshipped. Africa already prayed. Africa already understood the sacred. So, how did images, not scripture, come to redefine faith for so many? Let's explore this. Long before missionaries set foot on the continent, Africa recognized one supreme creator. This creator was known by many names, depending on the people and the place. Mare, Kulunkulu, Nyame, Olodumare, even Amun-Ra in ancient times. Africans communicated with the supreme being through their ancestors, who acted as intermediaries, not through idols. Their sacred places were found in nature groves, mountains, rivers, not in buildings constructed with human hands. Their connection was to the unseen, the spiritual, not to paintings or statues. There was no white God. There was no painted God. There was only spirit, infinite and unbound. This form of worship, based on spirit and story, was remarkably similar to how early faith was transmitted in the biblical tradition. When the scripture was first written, it carried no pictures. Faith was passed down through storytelling, through memory, and through rituals. This is exactly how African spirituality functioned. The commandment was clear and direct. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image. Early followers avoided images because they understood that a picture can never capture the infinite. An image limits what is limitless. It puts a human face on the divine, reducing its mystery and power. So, when did the pictures appear? When Christian art finally began to emerge, it naturally reflected the people who created it. Ethiopian Christianity, one of the oldest forms in the world, depicted dark-skinned biblical figures. Art from the Middle East showed people with Middle Eastern features. It was simple. Art mirrored the local culture. It wasn't about race. It was about people seeing the divine in a way that was familiar and relatable to them. The sacred was reflected in their own image, making it personal and immediate. But then, Europe began to change the face of faith itself. With the rise of the Renaissance, and later, the invention of the printing press, images became powerful tools of influence. One specific image, a European one, was mass-produced and spread across the globe. As colonization expanded, this single image was exported alongside Bibles and armies. Power began to dictate what was considered holy. This standardized image started to replace the rich, diverse tapestry of local interpretations. Africans were implicitly and sometimes explicitly told, "Your God looks like us," and slowly, over generations, for many, the belief began to shift. The visual replaced the spiritual memory. What's fascinating is what the scripture actually describes. The Bible gives us features, not detailed portraits. It speaks of hair like wool and skin like bronze, descriptions that point to people from sun-rich lands, not the pale figures of European art. These textual descriptions existed long before the paintings and prints that would eventually erase them from the popular imagination. The words on the page tell a different story than the images that came to dominate the faith. So, let's be clear. Africa did not meet God through Europe. Africa recognized and worshiped God long before the first ships arrived. The Bible didn't introduce worship to the continent. It arrived into an already worshiping continent. The images changed over time, influenced by power and politics. But the spirit, the fundamental connection to the divine, has always remained. If this story feels less like learning something new and more like remembering something you've always known, then perhaps your ancestors are speaking. If you feel that connection, comment ancestral memory below. And be sure to subscribe to Sky Blue Chief's Zim for more truths that are older than books. Thank you for watching.